Hey guys, so I'm going to try to make this video really quick. I'm sorry if I sound like I'm rambling. I'm just I have a lot to say. So this is my scalp. I have a lot of new growth, but you see my scalp is very clean, it's healthy. Um, my ends are nice and healthy. I have really good definition. And so this isn't anything that's going to be damaging your hair. You always just want to do things that are going to be adding to the strength and manageability of your hair. And this is something that really seems to work for me. So I'm going to get right into it. And what I've been doing with my hair is I had read an article about caffeine stimulating your hair growth from coffee. So my recipe, what I do is this time I'm using coconut oil and castor oil. I have used olive oil and grapeseed and jojoba oil. And I put it in a pot, you put it on simmer, a low simmer, and I add 2 tablespoons of Folgers. Um, you can use any coffee you want. Folgers has a good amount of caffeine in it. Um, and then I kind of just simmer that. I constantly shake it so that it doesn't burn. And I probably only leave it up there for about, I'd say, 3 to 5 minutes. This time I think I only did it 3 minutes. And I constantly keep it moving because the first time I put it on there and I figured since it was simmering, it would be fine. But it smelled kind of smoky, kind of burnt, and I didn't like the smell, so I had to restart it. So this time I only did it 3 minutes, and I constantly shook it and kept it moving so that the grounds didn't burn against the bottom of the pan. And so once that's done, it's not going to be boiling hot, so you can kind of go ahead with the next step. If you want to let it cool down a little bit, you're more than welcome. I like to use a coffee cup to strain it into because this little spout here helps to pour it into your container. If you use like a regular teacup, you lose a lot of oil when you're trying to pour it in. So that's just a word of advice. Use a measuring cup. So I just pour a little bit in at a time, and I'm using a piece of fabric, which is muslin that you can get from Joann's Fabrics. You can get I think a yard for $1.99, and I just cut this little square out because I use mine for sewing as well. So this is going to be something I can reuse as opposed to a paper towel. A paper towel will also bust eventually because it gets so saturated. And basically what you're doing is you're just straining it. It's better to strain it with this fabric than just a strainer because you don't want any coffee grounds in there. Um, just because I think coffee grounds might be harder to get out of your hair, especially our hair is very textured, so the grounds can get stuck in there and probably irritate your scalp when you're trying to massage it in as well. And basically I just pour a little bit of at a time and strain it. um, and as you see, the coffee or the oil is very dark because it soaked up a lot of the coffee. It was only on for 3 minutes, but it soaked up a lot of the coffee and the caffeine. So you just strain it. Don't try to dip the coffee grounds out after each pour because it'll just make the muslin really greasy. You want to try to keep the top of it away from the grease so that it's not all slippery and gushy. And with this muslin, I'm actually going to be reusing it because I just washed it out. I just use regular Gain, and that way I can reuse it. It gets all the oil and all out and all the coffee grounds, so it's just reusable for next time. And that's just a recycling tip as well. And I just use regular dish detergent. And the next step, is pouring it into your container. That's where that little spout comes in handy. And I just pour it in. When you do it, try not to use any more oil than your container. And I wouldn't make a huge container. This will probably last me about, I'd say, 3 weeks. I do this anywhere from 2 to maybe 3 days out of the week. And I like to shampoo my hair now. I don't really shampoo it. What I use coconut milk and aloe vera gel, and I put it into these freezer pop containers so that I can save it because you get a big can. The can holds a lot of that coconut milk, and you kind of don't want to waste it, and you can't use it all on your hair at that time. So it kind of just saves it. And that way you can just pop them out. I take them out the refrigerator, or excuse me, the freezer the night before, and then I put it into a cup and I let it sit out overnight. So the next morning when I'm ready to wash the oil out of my hair, it's ready to go. And so with the oil, I like to heat my oil up. I heat my oil up on the stove. I put water in in a pot, and then I put a cup of water inside of that, and then I kind of boil it, and so that way the hot water isn't directly on the plastic bottle. And you don't want it too hot because you don't want to burn your scalp. But I just go through my scalp and I massage it in, and then what I'm going to do is put a shower cap on my head. And usually what I do is I kind of spray my ends with water so I can kind of do the greenhouse effect. And I put the shower cap on my head and I put my hair bonnet on, and then I go to bed. And the next morning I go through my hair kind of just like this, and I just, with my fingers, I dip my fingers in the cup of the coconut milk and aloe vera gel, and I just massage that into my scalp. And I put a shower cap back on my head and let it sit on my head for about 20 minutes, while I pick my clothes out or get my daughter, dressed for school, and then I go take my shower, and your scalp feels so clean. It gets out all of the coffee smell. Your hair feels so great because it's pH balanced from the aloe vera gel. Aloe vera gel is also, it pulls the dirt out of your hair follicles. So that's also something that's stimulating your hair growth because it's cleaning out your hair follicles. So it's just a really good thing. And with that, I didn't measure. I kind of just tried to put, to the can of coconut milk, I used half a can of aloe vera gel, and I put in tea tree oil in it too as well, for the smell of it. And that's basically what I do, and it's increased my hair growth. um, it gave me an extra quarter of an inch, which doesn't sound like a whole lot when you say it, but you have to think my hair was only growing a quarter of an inch a month, so it was taking me, um, you know 4 months to get an inch of growth, where right now it's been 6 weeks, I've gotten, anywhere from 3/4 of an inch to an inch and a half of growth. I still have 3 more weeks to keep this in, my braids in, and, then I'm going to see where my growth is at. But, it's stimulating my hair, and that's in this cold, wintry season. So I think it might be even better during the summer. But I hope this helps you guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you tried it or if you modified it. Bye.